I was actually wondering if you were going to mention Neon or not. Before I get to the good stuff, let me explain why my new name is Neon. I hope you guys find the story as funny as they do. Well, for those of you who don't know, obviously there are a lot of diseases and things that we have to be aware of in Haiti that we're not necessarily aware of in the States. Obviously we had to have hepatitis shots and all these other things, typhoid fever and all that. And one of the things we had to worry about was malaria. Now malaria, you don't have a shot for it, you take medication for it. And there's different types of pills you can take. There's one, the name of it's Chlorinique. And you take this pill, well you're supposed to take this pill, 1 pill a week for 6 weeks. You start, I believe, a week before you leave, you're supposed to go through 6 weeks. Well, I had some misinformation, and I thought it was 1 pill every day for 6 days. So I ended up taking 5 of these pills before I leave. The worst part about it was, Monday, nothing, didn't feel anything, and I knew that what people were feeling side effects. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday night, start to feel a little queasy, a little nauseous. I'm like, all right, looks like these things are starting to kick in. Friday, a little bit worse. I even called Sam. I'm like, Sam, hey, is this what I'm supposed to be feeling? He's like, yeah, man, don't worry. It's, you know, everybody's taking this feeling. So I get there Saturday morning. We're all ready to go to the airport. I'm almost out of it. Basically, if I can give you an accurate description, imagine riding the teacup ride at Disney for about 2 hours straight and then trying to walk a straight line. That's exactly how I felt Saturday morning. I tell everybody, and they're like, wait a minute, what pill are you taking? Like, one you're supposed to take every day. Alan pulls out one of the pills and he's like, wait a minute, is this the pill you're taking? I'm like, yeah, why? That pill's only supposed to be once a week. I looked at him and I'm like, are you serious? You're playing with me, right? He's like, no, I'm not, bro. They called poison control. They thought I was gonna die, all this funny stuff. I mean, I called poison control and the guy's like, look, you should be fine. But afterwards, the joke became that I was radioactive. So that's where the name Neon comes into play. So whenever you hear the word neon, it's because I took one too many malaria pills and became radioactive. I was able to spit in water and cure it. I was able to purify water by spitting in it, and you know, nobody got malaria. All they needed to do was just give me a hug and they were perfectly fine. So
the mosquitoes would come and bite them and explode.
yeah, it would explode on contact, like that old Tabasco commercial, if anybody remembers it. But that's the Neon story. So I hope you were as amused as everybody else was. I just think back at it and laugh, man, to be honest with you. I mean, of all the people, it had to be me. But now on to the good stuff. That was more of the DVD extra blooper reel stuff, but this is the actual meat and potatoes of it. You know, when I got there, actually about a week before, I was just seeking God in a way that I hadn't in a while. And I knew the ramifications of what I was going to go do. This was a trip that required every ounce of what you have to give it up. And that's true in any mission trip, but this one, you know, we've seen the pictures, we've heard the stories. You knew that this was not going to be easy. And I began to seek God in a way that I hadn't in a while. And, you know, something that Roger touched up on is that, you know, he said, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid to get my heart broken. I'm one of those people that I can be very defensive in the sense that I know how to protect myself. But I can do it in such a way that, you know, nothing will come in. It's like the Dead Sea. You can, you know, nothing's ever going to come out because, you know, here's the line and it's not getting crossed. But that had to go. You know, I remember I made one promise before I left Haiti, and my brother confronted me on it. He goes, listen, he was contributing to the trip, and he goes, I'm gonna give you some money, I'm gonna make a donation for you to go. But I have one requirement. I said, what was the requirement? He said, give everything you have. I said, all right, seems like a fairly easy requirement, basically, I do that anyways, why, okay, sure, why not? But it was even more beyond that. Because God required me to give everything I have. And the verse that stuck with me throughout the entire trip and even before, Psalm 62:8. And it says, trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. The main point in that verse was pour your heart before him. I knew I had to go in there saying, God, no limits. No limits, no restrictions, no regrets. I'm going, you can break me every night, but I will give you every ounce of what I have. And there were a lot of nights where I was broken. Just the trip from the airport to where we were staying, all you would see is tent cities. People living in tents no bigger than a tool shed. That's all you'd see. There was one particular incident that this one really, really got to me. Everybody has their moment or moments where you'll either be all inspired, you'll be heartbroken, somewhere in between, or both. There was, we were on a mountain where we were staying, and about halfway down is a medical clinic, and you have to go the other half just to get outside of the gate. Now, mind you, how long of a walk was it? Well, long walk. And, a lot of people we were going in were, probably not the best of condition, but we were physically able to walk up and down this. You would get tired, you would get hot, and it was difficult to walk, but we could make it. Well, I was going back to the clinic. For those of you who don't know, I was part of the dental team, which is somewhat ironic now that I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. But I had to go back down to the clinic that day because I forgot a fan that I had, a portable fan. And Jay was walking with me. So as we're walking back to the clinic, he goes, oh, check him out. And I go, who? It was that guy right there. He's been here all morning, and now is when he's leaving. He was there from probably 7 or 8 o'clock, leaving at about 1. And it was an old man on crutches. And he had to walk down this mountain just to get outside the gates, and heaven knows how much more he had to walk. And that broke me. It was to the point where it's like, look, I'm not even going to try holding it back, Lord. Just go ahead and break me. And it broke me because here we are. You can get a taxi cab, nobody can pick us up. We have all these luxuries, and yet this old man had to walk down a mountain just to get back home. And there are many other stories that you can hear that are similar to that one. There's ones that are bringing great joy. There really are. Just seeing the kids that were leading worship every night. They would worship with such passion, such purity that, it made you wonder, it's like, what do I have to complain about now? These kids have nothing. Some of them have been abandoned by family members, yet they worship God like there's no tomorrow. And I said this in front of all the missionaries. I know that there are going to be moments where my heart's going to be broken. And I know there are going to be these tough moments. This is about halfway. But I'm still going to pour out. And I'm still going to give. Why? Because, the measure of a mission trip, at least how I measure if it was successful or not, is 2 parts. What the missionaries did for the people of the country, and the second part is what happened to the actual people what happened to the actual missionaries. Because we were